Hello students, let's continue with our explanation. We were doing displacement reaction, okay? So basically I have told you that what is displacement reaction? It is a reaction in which one metal displaces the other metal from its aqueous solution. So now displacement reaction is a reaction in which a more reactive metal displaces a less reactive metal. Now this is very important. All metals cannot displace all kinds of metals, okay? There is one particular thing that is called reactivity. Okay, so if a metal is more reactive than the other metal, then only it can displace. If the metal is not more reactive, it cannot displace. For example, in the previous reaction, zinc has displaced copper from copper sulfate to form zinc sulfate. How can zinc form zinc sulfate from copper sulfate? Because zinc is more reactive than copper. Okay, zinc is more reactive than copper. That is why zinc can displace copper from copper sulfate. Am I clear? In the previous reaction also, iron is more reactive than copper. That is why iron can displace copper from copper sulfate and form iron sulfate. Okay, so that means a more reactive metal has to displace a less reactive metal from its salt. Now suppose you take this example, zinc sulfate plus copper. Here copper has to displace zinc. In the previous reaction, zinc has displaced copper because zinc is more reactive than copper. In this reaction, just the opposite, copper has to displace zinc. So here will there be any reaction? No. So I have written here no reaction. Why no reaction? Because copper is less reactive than zinc. Zinc is more reactive than copper, but here copper has to displace zinc from zinc sulfate to form copper sulfate, isn't it? But copper cannot displace zinc here because copper is less reactive. Am I clear? So here there will be no reaction. This is because copper is less reactive than zinc, so copper cannot replace zinc from zinc sulfate. In the next reaction also, iron sulfate plus copper. Here, copper has to displace iron from iron sulfate. But copper is not able to displace iron from iron sulfate. Why? Because copper is less reactive than iron. Understood? So here also there will be no reaction. So this is because copper is less reactive than iron, so copper cannot replace iron from iron sulfate. So now you may ask me, this is so confusing. How will we know that which metal is more reactive and which metal is less reactive? Isn't it? Everyone must have having this question in your mind right now. So that is very simple. So the reactivity of metal is decided by a table called reactivity series of metals. So there is a table. Okay, so you have to. Now you may ask me, is the table required for exam? No, it is not required for your exam. You will require this table in your higher classes. But why I will show you the table, the reason is so that you have a clear idea that what is actually, displacement reactions and how can we say that which metal will displace which metal. Okay, so that is why I will give you the table. So this is the table. This is the table of reactivity series of metals. Now you see, from here, which is the most reactive metal? Potassium. Isn't it? Potassium is the most reactive. Which is the least reactive? Platinum. Okay. So now, what was the reaction I will show you? Zinc and copper sulfate. So here I told you, copper cannot displace zinc from zinc sulfate. Why? You see. Where is copper? Copper is here. And where is zinc? Zinc is here. So zinc is more reactive than copper. So can copper replace zinc? No. Only zinc can replace copper. Okay, that is why in this reaction you see copper sulfate plus zinc, you get zinc sulfate because zinc can replace copper from copper sulfate. But here copper cannot replace zinc from zinc sulfate. So why copper cannot replace? Because copper is less reactive than zinc. Okay. So now in this reaction you see copper has to replace iron from iron sulfate. Now will copper be successful? No. Why? Because where is iron? This is iron just below zinc. And where is copper? Here. So can copper replace iron? No. Only iron can replace copper. Copper cannot replace iron because copper is less reactive than iron. Is it clear? So if you know this table, then easily you can say which metal is going to displace which metal. Okay, so remember, a more reactive metal can only displace a less reactive metal. A less reactive metal cannot displace a more reactive metal. Am I clear? So now all of you, I'm telling you again, you don't need this table for your exam. Okay, this table is not needed for your exam. because displacement reaction little bit you have in class 8, you will have more of displacement reactions in class 9 and 10. But since you have little bit in class 8, that is why I have given you this table for your reference, so that you understand why metals, which metal will replace which metal and why does it happen. Okay, you should know. For science, there has to be reason for everything. So this is the reason. Okay, so you don't have to memorize this table now, because now it is not coming for your exam. Okay, yeah. So now we come to the last part of the chapter, that is uses of metals and non-metals. That is where metals and non-metals are used. Now metals are used in making machinery, automobiles, aeroplanes, trains, satellite, industrial gadgets, cooking utensils, water boilers. Why? Because of their physical properties. Because metals are hard, okay? Metals are good conductors, okay? So metals, they are malleable, they can be given any shape, right? They can be drawn into wires, okay? So easily, because these physical properties are there of metals, so metals have these kind of uses, okay? Like for aeroplanes, okay, you need the metals to make into thin sheets. Easily you can make because metals are malleable. Trains also you need thin sheets, satellites also the same thing, okay? Cooking utensils, you need the metals have to be good conductors. Otherwise, food will not get cooked. So that is fulfilled. Water boilers, metals have to be good conductors of heat. So that is why these are the uses. Now non-metals, it is, what are the uses you see? Is essential for our life, which all living beings inhale during breathing. Which non-metal is it? Oxygen. Isn't it? Oxygen is essential for breathing. I told you most of the gases, in fact all the gases are non-metals. Okay? Non-metals used in fertilizers to enhance the growth of plants. Nitrogen. Nitrogen is a very good fertilizer and nitrogen is a gas. Phosphorus is a very good fertilizer. These are non-metals. Okay, so non-metals are used in fertilizers. Non-metals are used in water purification process. Chlorine. Yes, so chlorine is a gas. So chlorine is used to purify water. Okay, so it is a non-metal. Then non-metal is used in purple colored solution, which is applied on wounds as an antiseptic. I have written here iodine. Okay, iodine is a non-metal. Iodine is a purple colored solution. It is a very good antiseptic. Whenever you have cuts, okay, in your first aid kit, if you have iodine solution, if you apply it on your cut will get healed. Okay, it is a very good antiseptic. Non-metals are used in crackers. So many gases are used in crackers. All are non-metals. Okay, so these are the uses of non-metals. So question can come for 3 marks or maybe 5 marks. Write the uses of metals and non-metals. So it is given in your textbook. Easily you can write them down. So with this we complete the chapter. Okay, so from this chapter we have omitted many things. We have omitted the activities because it is not possible for me to show you in this current situation. But whenever I get a chance, I promise you I'll show you the activities so that it will be of help to you in class 9 and 10. Okay, for now I will give you some YouTube videos, whatever is possible on my part, so that you can see those videos and you can have a clear idea, okay, of what kind of mechanisms does happen, okay, on some activities. Okay, I'll try and I'll see if I get the videos, I'll show you. So for now, the chapter is completed. I hope it was helpful. You understood? So please go through the YouTube videos also, whatever I share. Please don't ignore them. Then it will make your understanding better, because everything I cannot show you in my slides. So some at least in the YouTube videos you can see and understand. Okay. Thank you all of you.